Welcome to Seat Time, everybody. We are doing another one of our fun interviews. I want to say it's Thursday night. It's been a long week trying to catch up from all the stuff that's been going on after the holidays. You know, we had our interview with John Day and our episode then on Tuesday. A lot of fun. Tonight, we have David Kamo. It's a lot of fun to get this kind of perspective. I only talked to Kurt Caselli once about Baja, and so I know very little, so I'm looking forward to learning a lot more, not just about Baja in general, but as well about their experience as they won again in what some people say was, you know, a very competitive year. They were, you know, this was the year that people were throwing all kinds of competitive names out. So we're going to figure out if that's true, if it's not. This is Seat Time. For any of you who don't know, seattime.co is the website where you can find us. We thank Fly Racing for all of their support. We're going to get into this and see how the evening is going. So first off, David Kamo, how is the evening going, kind sir?
It's going pretty good, you know, just a long, long day. I don't even know what day it is. That's how bad it is, you know.
Yeah, I had to figure out it was Thursday, so it's okay.
Right on, yeah. So it's good.
Were you training today, or were you just goofing off, or what was the regime?
A little bit of training, a little bit of hunting, shooting, a little bit of boxing.
So is shooting part of your training regimen? Is that like, I'm going to beef up my badass skills by getting out there and doing that?
Yeah, well, it's just some kind of motivation that we do in Idaho because there's nothing really to do here. So it's just kind of an excuse to go shoot, and then we call it exercise. Right. So
exercise, yeah. Trigger finger.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, I think the most, you know, not that it's not the most important, I think it's very awesome, but it's also very prevalent, is the fact that you guys, your JCR team on your Honda 1X just won the Baja 1000 about a week and a half ago. So in the shortest of terms that you feel like going into, tell us about your experience. I mean, I have a slew of questions, but I just want to know right off the top of your head, how was the experience and how did it go for you guys?
Oh man, the experience is amazing to do, but it's a long 2 weeks. I mean, we go down basically like a week and a half before, and you go pre-run your section. And Colton had a 300-mile section of pre-running. This is from the start to 300 miles where I get on, and then I had like about 250-mile section I had to pre-run, and I did about 6 times of pre-running, which is it's difficult when you do the peninsula run because I started like at 5 o'clock in the morning with sunrise, and I got on the bike, rode, did my section, and like when you get done riding, you have to hop back in the truck and go back up to where you start. By the time you get back, it's midnight, or not midnight, but it's just dark. So it's a long day, and like my driver Scott Dunleavy, he didn't really let me eat as much. He just kind of kicked me out of bed and gave me a couple power bars, and he's like, "All right, you're burning daylight. Let's go. Get the hell out of here." I'm like, "Oh, all right, cool."
That's just maybe made me to take a nap.
Made me a sandwich, and that was about it. So, I mean, it's like you have 12 to 17-hour days, and it's grueling. And the whole entire time you're just hoping, like, you just want to wake up the next day and just go race, get it over with.
Yeah, and those 12 to 17-hour days that you're talking about, that's all the pre-running that you guys use. That's actually prior to the actual race. Is that right?
Yeah, it's prior to the actual race.
Okay, and
so
pre-running is kind of like walking the test at the ISDE. You're out trying to get like a lay of the land and understand where the trail's going.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you did like Supercross or motocross, you get to do your practice laps and you put in like your hot laps and you kind of figure out where to go. We have virtual checkpoints, so you have to know where to be at on the course. And you know, everyone knows Baja. Everyone's seen Dust of Glory. Right. There's the faster lines, of course. You know, everybody's going to take a faster line. That's just being creative. But you can only go so far because you have these virtual checkpoints, which they use them off like a GPS, and they're like little coordinates. You can't go more than 100 feet away from them or you get penalized.
So, I mean, it's a part of it would be like if you're out pre-running, you can figure out where maybe the bigger ditches, bigger gullies, and the easier kind of shortcuts to get from checkpoint to checkpoint might be, so that you guys can kind of, as you said, go faster between all those virtual checkpoints. Yeah,
the main thing about like pre-running is knowing what's ahead,
right.
Knowing that there's going to be a ditch, or maybe you're going to go pre-run at the same time that you're going to get on the bike during the race, so you can kind of figure out how the local traffic is. Maybe know where the cows are at, where the horses are at, or I mean, it's gnarly. It's you have so much going on at once, and I mean, my section was like 100-mile-an-hour section down the roads, and I mean, yeah, we get the chopper to like kind of like go over the top of us, like maybe like 500 yards ahead to kind of notify people that there's a bike coming.
Wow.
But you know, in Baja, everybody's living their everyday life. They're working while we're racing, so they're still coming down the course, which is their everyday road, and we're racing down their regular day drive. So, I mean, you have horses, you have dogs that run out. I mean, you go through towns, and it's like the local town, that's their like carnival for the year.
Wow.
So everyone's kind of pumped off the side. Like, I mean, they're trying to touch you when you go through town, and like some of the towns, we have like these speed limits going like on a road, like speed zone. So it's only you can't go over 60 miles an hour. So it's not fast, but it's difficult because you're trying to stay 60 around a corner the whole entire time.
Oh man.
So
trying to not fall over. Well,
yeah, there's definitely a lot you got to do like for pre-run.
Yeah, it sounds like one of the things that Destry Abbott told me when we had him on a couple weeks ago before Baja was that, and he's done it a couple times, is that whenever you see a big group of people coming up ahead, he said sometimes those are the times you have to watch out the most, because sometimes they like to have a couple beers and set up, you know, maybe not death traps, but some form of trap or something like that. Have you ever run into an experience like that?
Oh yeah, it's even like a few days before the race. I mean, everyone gets out. The locals get so pumped that they're like, "Oh, the race is coming!" I'm pretty sure they don't know what day it is. I mean, when you're down in Baja, you kind of forget what day it is, what time it is. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere down there.
Right.
So you come up to like just a huge crowd of people, and you're just like, you kind of have to slow down, even when you're pre-running, just because you don't know you're in the middle of nowhere. There's people standing around. It's like you kind of catch on, like, oh, they had one too many beers, maybe. They have a shovel. Oh, hey, let's dig a hole. Check this out, man.
See what happens. How's the suspension?
Yeah, so it's stuff like that. Like even like pre-running, you can kind of automatically assume that there's going to be something there when you see people. So you back off a little bit, ride smart, and just go over the obstacle that they make or go around it.
Yeah.
Or like I've a couple times aimed for where they're at because it's smoother, and it's not like really running them over. You just get really close to them, and they love it. It's even better than their little jump that they make. So
that's awesome.
I mean, it's like their jump is like you know how the kids make like little BMX jumps out in the
kind that
dirt
unfortunately
lots.
pitch your ass end up over your head.
Yeah, it's made for like 3 miles an hour seat bounce instead of 110. So.
Oh my god.
So
yeah, you got to be careful with that kind of crap. Okay, so obviously then you spent quite a few weeks and time and lots of precious brain cells pre-running and making sure that crap didn't go crazy leading up to the race. So coming into the race, after all that, knowing that KTM is trying to, you know, dethrone you guys, and then of course the THR guys are out there, they're trying to put, you know, and then you've got other teams competing. So was this year different, or did you guys just go into it like you always do and just, you know, kick ass and take names, or, you know, was there anything different coming in this year?
This year was like way different because normally Honda has two teams. They have a Honda A, Honda B team. Okay. And so this year we only had one team. It was just Honda A team, basically. Timmy Wiegand, Colton, and myself. So the first Baja 250, KTM won it. We got second. Cowie got third. Or actually, I think another team got third. And then the 500, Cowie won. We got second. KTM got third. And it was a lot more difficult this year because we actually had KTM with a full team and Cowie with a full team. They had 4 riders on each team. And we only had the 3 riders, which was good. I mean, we knew what we had to do, and it'd been nice to have one more rider, but we didn't need one more rider, so it's kind of good for us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you didn't, and so it worked out obviously the way it was. Was there anything? It sounded like that you were the ones that took over second. Was that correct? That you were in second position on your team, or did you guys kind of go back and forth in different spots throughout the course? I know it's different when they had 4, you had 3. So kind of tell me how you guys broke down your sections.
So we were just going to do like Colton was going to do the top section, the first 300 normally, and then I was going to do the middle section, and then Timmy was going to do the bottom section.
Okay, so you guys do just go straight at it then first?
Yeah, straight at.
Okay.
We really didn't want to leapfrog it because you take the chance of the other rider not making it in time down in the chase vehicle. So, but we did take a chance. Colton did the start 300 or from the start to 300 and something. El Crucero where I got on, and then I did like 250 miles. Then Colton jumped back on in San Ignacio, and we put lights on the bike. And then he did like another 100-mile section, and then I jumped back on the bike and did a 40-mile section. And the reason I jumped back on because it was a lot like a National Hare and Hound. Okay. It was like really technical, rocky, and there was a bunch of water crossings that they wanted to put me on before. They basically didn't want Timmy to go through the water crossings and run 300 miles wet.
That completely makes sense. Nobody wants to do that when their underwear is wet, right? I mean, who wants to do
so
that?
Yeah, get the new guy and just say, hey, we got a section for you to do. No, it worked out great. I rode the section once. And I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be a good idea. This is gonna work awesome, you know. And then I only got to pre-run it twice, but they were both in the daytime, and I had to race it at night. And I've never really raced at night. The only time I race at night is at 24 hours at Glen Helen. So
right, we saw pictures of that online. So, okay, I've talked to guys that have done different 24-hour events, and, you know, there's a strategy to that. So what was your strategy going in knowing that you had to start riding at night? Did you change your sleep schedule, change your eating schedule, anything like that? Or did you just kind of say, you know what, I'm going to be supporting the team, and when I got to ride, drink a Red Bull and just go to town?
Yeah, it was, you know, it's just, when it comes to race day, you're so amped. I mean, I was up at like 4:30 before the race, and after the race was over, I was still up the next day. I think we went to the beach because we got done like 3 o'clock the next day in the morning, and then no one went to bed really, and then we went to the beach the next day. So I was up for like 48 hours or something. But I mean, you have so much adrenaline when the race is going. Like, I got in the box van to go out to my section and wait for Colton. And I was so nervous, I thought I was going to puke like 4 times. I kept telling my driver, I'm like, oh, I'm just getting car sick. I'm getting car sick. He's like, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not nervous. I'm a real man. It's whatever.
Sure. No, like, it's like I mean, you do the pre-running. We have long days of pre-running. Right. And we had like 2 17-hour days of pre-running. So it kind of mentally put me in the right position to stay alert and awake because I got on like at, I want to say like 12 o'clock, and I got off at 5 o'clock. Yeah. And so right when I got off at 5 o'clock, they put lights on, then Colton went again, which is gnarly because I think he did a total like 420 some miles. So, which is awesome. I mean, he's a total BA. So
right, yeah, you can say stuff like that here.
Oh, awesome. And then Timmy's section was water, whoops the whole entire time. And if you know Timmy Vegan, he's like 5'1" maybe.
He's like
5'2".
a little Jamie Lanza. Actually,
he's they're like the same size. So imagine Timmy riding a clapped out bike. So, the bike wasn't clapped out because usually you think after 500 miles the suspension gets soft. Our suspension was awesome. Like, it was so good. Yeah. Timmy thought it was bitching. So
you know what attracted to like clapped out things, and that was not a clapped out thing.
It wasn't. It's so amazing how good our Baja bike is. But Timmy got to ride sand hoops for 40 miles straight, I think, and then you get to ride in the fog going in La Paz. So
good God. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you guys had like every kind of, you know, besides snow, you know, and maybe dense forest. You guys went through just about all the different types of terrain out there.
Yeah,
I've never been to Mexico anywhere, let alone Baja. So I'm unfortunately quite ignorant to what it looks like and stuff like that down there. But it sounds like you guys had just about everything.
Well, the big thing was that we had like hurricanes like a month before us, so everything got like washed out and flooded out, and there was a lot of water left. So it was kind of like the one little middle section I got to do was kind of like a National Hare and Hound on the second loop with a little bit of GNCC water crossing.
Sweet.
So.
Hell yeah. Okay. Now, you guys are doing all these crazy miles on the bike. You said the suspension worked really, really good. What was one thing that you noticed about the bike, or maybe a couple things that the setup is just so different, so weird, you know, going into something like this, 1,000 something miles. What is 11 1190 miles on the bike.
Yeah, the setup's way different than what we normally do. Everyone thinks that you need a lot of power. Oh, we gotta have more power. We gotta have a lot of power. You gotta have power. It's not having the power. It's having a bike that tracks and one that doesn't burn off a rear tire.
One, it's having balls.
Yeah, that hold on to the bike and just pinning it. Because my section was a road section. I had the same section as Destry during the race, and it's like high speed 2-track roads with rocks that are kind of hidden. And you just hit them, and like when you're pre-run, you go slow and you start hitting all these rocks. But if you go faster, it's smoother, and you don't notice all the rocks. So it's like I had one day I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna cruise, and I kept hitting rocks, and I'm like, what am I hitting? So I had to go back and look. I'm like, dude, what the hell? So I ended up pinning it the whole entire time during pre-running. During the race, I didn't feel one rock.
That's crazy.
When we pre-run, we have these 4-gallon tanks on too.
Okay, but you didn't have that. I guess you didn't need that for the race because you guys had your pitting all timed out for gassing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. We have the Honda pit support, and that's a big deal, especially for those point-to-points. Right. There's a lot of that's like the biggest part of the strategy for racing is having the Honda pit support. I mean, I know that probably Cowie used some like Baja pits, and then they had their own pits, and KTM probably had to do the same thing because they couldn't get enough support out in certain spots, and that. Your pit guys are your big deal. Like if you watch NASCAR, the guy comes into the pit, he loses like 2 seconds, and he's back in 20th.
Right. Yeah.
So
it's pretty nuts, man. Yeah, watching the Formula One that took place in Austin, you watch those guys, and you could see the time they were talking about when they would lose like a third of a second. And you're right, they would lose like 2 places, and all of them were pitting at the same time. So it's like absolutely insane. So I can only imagine that you guys are trying to kick ass and take names, even when it comes to putting gas in your motorcycle. But
yeah.
So you guys won. You got the 1X back. I know that to my knowledge, looking around, you were a KTM rider for a very long time. You're on the Honda team this year. So I want to know what it was like coming in there, getting the win, and then the after party situation after the fact. I mean, was it just like Mexico, or was it Mexico?
It took a while for it to click in. Like it's like winning something. It'd be like you won the lottery. It's like, sure, yeah, okay, I won the lottery. Then it hits you. Then like a couple days later, it hits you hard. You're like,
Rolls Royce, bitch. Then it hits you.
I just won $1 million. What am I like? Oh yeah, I'm gonna go blow it on something. Whatever. No, it was like winning the lottery. It just. I didn't know how to react to it. Basically, it's a pretty hard hit.
Yeah. Huh. So I mean, and then obviously Johnny Campbell being there, essentially he was kind of your fourth man if needed. There, ready to ride, but he was at the end ready to celebrate with you guys when you guys got the win. How excited was he when you guys came in?
Oh, he was really excited. It was a big thing for him this is a 16th win in a row for Honda.
It's kind of
it's a big thing, especially with the winning with competition, having KTM and Kawasaki, because last time that happened was 17 years ago.
Yeah.
I think
not 16 years ago, 17.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. So just having that for Johnny is a big deal, especially having a 3-man team. It shows a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Are you going to do it again next year, or do you want?
I hope so.
You hope so. Okay. Right. Well, I mean, you got to ask those questions because it might be. I don't know. It's 2 weeks out. Your ass might still be sore, and you're just not sure. So
it's like when you go do 6 days, you're like you go do it, and after the 3rd day, you're like, I'm never doing this again. And then it's like you're there again the next year, and it's like,
how did I get back?
It's like, oh, it was so much fun, and like 3rd day hits, it's raining, you hate life, and it's like, I'm never doing this again next year.
Nice.
Baja's way different. Baja is like, after you're pre-running, you're like, I love my job. It's like the best job you can have. It's like, this is the best job ever.
That's so awesome, man. Well, congratulations, obviously, on your win. We know that you're obviously Fly Racing. Fly Racing is a big supporter of Seat Time. We have to give a shout out to them. Because of the fact that they support Seat Time. We really appreciate that. FlyRacing.com is where you guys can go check them out. As we said many a times, they have their new 2013 gear line out. I don't mean to break, I don't mean to beat up on a broken record kind of setup, but it's awesome stuff. They've got all the new Hyperlight gear out. It's really great. Just got in my new gear that I ordered. It's fantastic. You should definitely go check it out, flyracing.com. We thank them for their support. Okay, so Mr. Kamo, we wanted to know a little bit more about your growing up-ins, because we know you grew up in Boise, Idaho. Boise, Idaho just doesn't seem like, it seems like, sure, a dirt biker's paradise, but it doesn't seem like the place that, you would be a hare and hound guy, a best in the desert kind of guy, a Baja kind of guy. You've been to the ISDE a couple times, so, tell us a little bit about your growing up, where you grew up, riding, and then kind of how that translated into all the racing that you've done.
I initially grew up riding down ditch bank roads, dirt roads. So, that's probably like the biggest one, pinning it down a ditch road, and all the farmers didn't care. So, as long as I stayed out of their field.
Yeah.
So, as long as I can just have fun, no one really cared. Everybody loved it. And I actually had like a motocross track in the backyard. My parents didn't really care. I had just rode around the horses most of the time. So, that kind of helped for Baja.
Right.
But it's like growing up in Idaho, and we live like on the tree line in the southern desert, so I never really ride the trees.
Yeah.
Because if you think Idaho, you're like, oh yeah, trees, mountains. Yeah, I have that option, but I rather go ride the south part of the desert and go ride all the sand washes when it's wet, and you can ride all year long. It snows down there, but it doesn't really freeze, so the ground's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just all the rocks are hidden by the snow, so you kind of hit the rocks. But
sounds like you've already figured out how to not do that though with your experience there in Baja. You've learned about rocks in the desert.
Yeah, you kind of pick that up as you go. You still hit rocks, you still wreck, you still have to pick up your bike. You sometimes you don't know where you're at, but it's part of racing.
Yeah.
So
all right, well, okay. I definitely don't mean to take up all of your evening by any means, but we want to know what's coming up next for you. What's going to be coming up for 2013, and do you have any plans? Any of that fun stuff?
Oh, I'm still going to race for sure. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't really have a contract with anyone. I don't have a contract with Honda, but Johnny is nice enough that he said he'd give me bikes to use, and I'll probably end up trying to do the National Hare and Hound still, and I want to do some enduros, and there's quite a few rally races I think that Jimmy Lewis is going to put on, and there's also the Mexican 1000, which is going to be a rally race. Yeah. And so I might try to do that and see where it goes, and then hopefully maybe be a backup rider for Honda or for whoever,
yeah.
Whatever.
You never know.
So,
I might start a team.
Yeah. Hey. Perfect.
Seriously doubt it.
We could ride like quads around or something, or three wheelers, whatever.
Hell yeah! As long as I have my helmet on and my pint full of awesome, then I'm in. That's pretty much how it's going to work. It's be the best time ever. Okay, cool, man. Well, I really appreciate it. We want you to tell everybody out there where they can keep in touch with you on Twitter, maybe on Facebook, any of that kind of stuff. If you have a website, please just go ahead and tell everybody about it right now.
I have a website, it's davidkamo.com, but I wouldn't go to it. I haven't updated it for ever. I don't even know how to use Skype, so.
Hey, we figured it out. We got you here.
Yeah, it only took an hour, so no big deal. I do have an Instagram. It's David Kamo. It's like, I think, all one word, and I have a Twitter. It's David Kamo. Pretty simple.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
And then Facebook. Yeah, Facebook, David Kamo. It's pretty creative, I know.
Hey.
I try to keep it super simple.
With a haircut like that, we don't expect you to stretch the limits too much, man.
Well, it used to be ladies' man, but I took that off, so.
Yeah. It's either you're in a relationship or, you just realize that you're into men. So it's one of the two.
It's a secret.
Okay. I won't tell anybody. Awesome, dude. Well, so we were said the same thing about ourselves, the places that you can find us, if I can actually get any of my feeds up. There it is. Seattime.co is the website where you can find all of our fun stuff, all the shenanigans that we post online as well. We're on the Facebook. It's facebook.com/seattime. And if you want to tweet us real hard on Twitter, which we hope that you would, it is twitter.com/seattime_CO. So those are all the fun places that you can find us. Again, Mr. Kamo. Kamikaze,
Whatever.
another crazy man.
Yeah, or J model. Perfect.
Yeah. The sexiest Asian guy in Idaho.
Oh, yeah. I'll take it.
There it is. Awesome, man. Well, we really appreciate the time. Have fun out there. And next time I make it back to Boise, we're going to have to hang out because I actually have been there once.
Once.
We'll
have to make it twice.
If I make it twice, we're going to hang out then. Is that okay?
All right.
All right, dude. Take it easy. Remember, always
Peace.
enjoy a pint full of awesome. Later, dude.
See ya.